Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Board of County Commissioners Workshop for August 28, 2023. Would you all please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, it's been brought to my attention that the first item on our agenda is pulled out and we'll return at a later date. So we now have a discussion regarding a letter of support for Access Health to become an enterprise zone, and we have Miss Haley Leonard-Saunders here. So good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having me. I'm here today to ask for a letter of support. Access is applying to become an enterprise zone contribution project for our new facility in Durango. It just so happens to be that the building itself is in one little sliver in Durango that isn't covered by an opportunity zone or an enterprise zone. So they are allowing us to apply for this particular project and are asking us to bring letters of support from our surrounding counties. The reason that we are applying to become an enterprise zone is so we can incentivize private donors and be able to fundraise in addition to grants and other funding that we've already secured. The sooner that we are able to pay off our debt, the sooner we can continue to do other cool projects. So it's just a fundraising strategy for us. We're about 75% of the way to our fundraising goal, so getting close, which is exciting.
Question?
I don't have
No? Okay. All right. Looks like we have a letter in front of us here. So, Haley, I don't think we have any questions at all.
Okay.
And if you can get private individuals to contribute to you so that you can do what you need to do for their, basically works almost like tax credits, right?
Yes,
Or-
exactly. Yeah.
And if they choose to donate, then
Yep.
their money, their choice. I don't see any reason why an LOS is nothing that we would stifle you with for an enterprise zone. So we will put it on our agenda for tomorrow. We can't make a decision today, but I don't think
Okay.
we have any other questions.
Perfect.
All right.
And if there are no questions, I won't be here tomorrow. I'll be on a plane.
I don't think you need to be. That's why we pull you in here today. That way
Okay.
we can get all the
Perfect.
questions and.
All right. Well, thank you all
Quick and
so
easy.
much, and especially for the time, since I'm the only one. All right. Well, have a great afternoon.
You too.
Thank you. Okay, the next item is we are gonna walk over to 20 South Market and go look at a building. And then we can, but we can have a discussion prior to walking over there if you want to, Travis, since it is on the agenda. And I'll let you go ahead and start because I have some questions to follow with it.
Sure. So, excuse me. We're just going to go do a site visit. Obviously, everybody is running out of space, usable space. We have departments in separate buildings. Our staff, some have offices and closets, some don't have offices at all. And so we're just trying to look at different options of what we can do to be economically reasonable with funding, but also ensure that we have adequate space to do county government business. So it's kind of it in a nutshell.
So, I mean, I thought a lot about this, this weekend. We've talked, I think we've had several conversations to make more room here and to make more room at the Annex 1. I mean, before we purchase buildings, I mean, is there any any interest in moving CSU and the weed department and the agencies that we have over there back out to the fairgrounds in the upper area? I mean, it would be pretty inexpensive square footage to occupy.
Sure, no, I mean, every option's on the table at this point in time. If that's an option the commissioners want to look at, we can travel that road as well, and that might be a viable option too. This one just come up, we was talking about it on Thursday, and our IT department found out about the building. So we just went and looked at it. It's, you know, it's $43 a square foot versus $300 a square foot. So it's just something that we wanted you gentlemen to look at, and it may be something that's not doable, but just something that I thought we might want to at least view.
Yeah, no, and I appreciate that too. So our third floor is gonna be totally unoccupied by November, right? Isn't that when Bobby said that those programs were done and out of here?
That half of the building will. I talked to social services. They're probably not going to be able to leave that other half because they have to have space for audits. They have to have meeting rooms, secure locations for the state to come up. And when I talked to Kelly, they're in need of additional space as well. So, you know, they got some different, my understanding, different mandates coming down.
So I guess, Ian, I'm looking at you for these mandates. What do these mandates, I mean, with the state, how does that work? Because
I don't know what mandates we're talking about, honestly.
I
I mean,
guess
I
I
think
don't
that there's a
either.
lot of specifics there, and, I mean,
because
all
right-
I would say is things keep growing,
Yeah.
Right.
and at a certain point,
The only thing
It
that doesn't
gets-
grow is our income.
and so I don't know. I mean, again, you guys know the rule
guess I
about
would like-
unfunded mandates. I don't know what mandates we're
I would
talking
like
about.
to
just
know
brief
what the
conversation.
mandates are before we start really even having that conversation, because right now they're occupying the entire first floor, both sides.
Sure.
And there's a lot of room. Is it really being used efficiently? And if it is, great, but, I mean, it's just a question like what Ian said. I mean, how?
Yeah,
growth
obviously,
is
we don't
growth.
want to,
You know,
keep.
another building is another structure to take
Sure.
care of. It's more water, power, gas, more
We'd have to add
maintenance.
More maintenance, I mean, that's a.
That's
maintenance
another
thing. That's another
huge
person by
building.
itself.
No, I totally get it. I'm just trying to throw out as many options, you know, as I can to.
No,
you
no,
guys
no,
make
and I
decisions.
really appreciate it. I'm just, again, I have to question, it's like, okay, what are the mandates that are saying that we have to have this much more space? And,
Well, I know, for instance, just a quick conversation was this, where they're trying to reformulate instead of, what is it, not visitation anymore, it's called family time. You know, and if they have a kid that they can't get placed in another state, they have to stay here with them. So that, I mean, that was just the brief conversations that we had, so.
So, in looking at that, I mean, we've reevaluated a lot of our fees and everything like that. Have we reevaluated what we're being reimbursed for per square footage, or has the state upped that at all?
I think that's a state fee that's already probably set. I know they pay us per square foot for what the Department of Social Services utilize currently. And she was gonna get me the figures.
but is it enough? I think
Yeah.
is what you're asking, and I
Is it
agree.
enough?
Is it enough? Because the cost of, I mean, the cost of structures is,
Just look at our cost
Not
of
getting-
maintenance over the
wow.
last 3 years.
and at some time, you know, Ian is on the same thought that I am. It's like, yeah, I mean, globally, if you look at the big picture, like I said, a campus, single level, no more multi-level floors, everything is ADA accessible. I would really like to head down that path before we start buying multi-story buildings. I think.
No,
Now,
I totally get it, but.
Is it worthwhile to lease it if we have to come up with that for a year? Maybe, maybe not, but I'm not opposed to going and looking at the building.
Sure, sure. And that's all this is just a site visit, nothing specific, no decisions, just just something for you to look at and,
So as soon as she can really get us what the square footage she needs, and it's gotta be a need, not a want,
sure.
cause I don't,
Yeah,
I mean,
once or done.
I look at all these rooms downstairs and they're not being occupied at all. They're for a one-time a month visit, I
I
mean,
mean, there are several cubicles over in the child support area. What was the old courtroom downstairs that are unoccupied? I know that. I mean, those
Sure.
have been unoccupied for a long time.
But some of those are gonna start getting filled, and there's gotta be separation between departments due to HIPAA and certain criteria that they're faced with, is my understanding. So that's why we, and they have to have interview rooms, separate other parts of the department. So, I mean, there's a lot of moving parts to their program, so for us to utilize that for our needs is probably out of the question, because they have to have confidentiality in what they do.
okay, well, I think there's a lot more research that
Sure.
needs to be done, and what the statutes are that are mandating these to be done.
Yeah.
So, with that, that's all I have. Commissioners, any other
That's all I have.
questions?
I don't know.
All right, well, let's go take a walk across the street.
All right.